All right, thank you, Raida, for your response. So let us begin with dua. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma iftah alaina hikmataka wanshur alaina min khazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. So this is CSP600. So right now we are in our week 4. So let's go to the material that I have prepared for this week. Okay, so again, I would like to highlight that in the CSP 600, you need to prepare 3 chapters. Okay, you need to complete 3 chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, and also chapter 3. So as for last week, for group A, on Thursday, we have completed the project description presentation. But for group C, we managed to get only 8 to present. So the remaining hopefully can complete the project description by this week. And for the mutual acceptance form, I just checked just now. In the teams, 32 actually click the submit button, I believe. But when I look into the form, I have 46 responding to the form. Suppose in this class I have 58. So I still have another 12 more to go. So for those who did not submit the F1 yet, please do so. I have reopened the submission window until today midnight, 11:59. Okay, so the due is supposed to be yesterday at 12 p.m. 12 p.m. is midday. Okay, if it is midnight, then it's going to be 11:59. So please take note. Okay, but for the reopen, I have set them to be 11:59 tonight. So please make sure that you submit your F1 form. Okay. I would like to remind everyone that the first assignment, the write-up assignment on the project motivation, which consists of 10%, that would be due supposed to be by next week. Okay, the project due is next week. Please refer to your scheme of work. I will be open another window for you to submit this assignment number 1, which consists of your project motivation. Okay, I would like to highlight a few things today before we go into the content of chapter 1. Okay, let us talk about this computing project. So we have class project and we do have research project, and we are going to look at the different types of project. So when we say about projects, yes, you should understand that you need to write programs for the computer science student. Of course, you need to write programs. Is it just like another class project? Maybe you need to do, if you are to 5-3 student, you need to use tools to produce your animation project. Maybe you have nothing in mind. Okay. So for the company project, it is a project done individually or collaboratively to achieve certain goals and objectives. You need to set the goals and you need to set the objective. So, of course, when we say that it is a company project, it must involve developing a piece of software. Okay, right now, in the old days, we call it software, but now I believe you are more familiar with the terms apps coming from the application. Now we call it apps, which must involve programming, and it must be done systematically according to certain methodology. Okay, in completing the project, the student must be able to justify their reasons for doing it and evaluate the achievement of the project goals and objective. Okay, why you need to do the project? Okay, once you have completed with the project, then you need to evaluate what you have, whether you have achieved the goals and also the objective of the project. For content project, for computer science students, generally it will require development of a piece of software with a systematic algorithm and methodology. So this course, okay, is considered as a capstone course, as you will be using all the knowledge that you have gathered so far throughout your undergraduate studies and new added knowledge that you will self-acquire when doing the project. Different with class project. Class project are assignments that you will asked to complete as accomplishment to the class requirement. So it is specific to the class or subject. It may involve only one sub-area of the content discipline of computer science disciplines. For example, if you're studying animation, your class project will focus only on the animation. Or if you're in maybe audio class, okay, my examples here, your class project may only requires you to deal with the audio. Or if you're doing a data structure project, the project may only aim to test your ability to apply the data structures to solve a problem. So that is the difference. So when we go into this final year project, on the other hand, a final year project may comprise a combination of various subjects that have been studied throughout the course, and also to solve a problem using the computing technology. So you need to apply all knowledge that you have learned up until now. And right now you are in your semester 5. So it is actually a proof of how students comprehend what they have studied so far, what you have learned, what you have understand. So this FYP requires you to think critically in solving problems in order to achieve the goals. So this FYP is also the first step towards doing research at a higher level. So you need to follow certain rules, you need to follow certain steps, you need to have some activities in order for you to complete the research project. So what is the difference between the class project and also the final year project? So final year project, you must have the development of your own thoughts, ideas, and arguments. You should question things and look at all things from various angles. You need to have the research elements. Okay, that's why you need to go through a literature review, what people have done so far to solve similar problems. Okay, compared to your project development, where maybe you will need to focus only on what subject that you are doing the project with. Is it a database system? Is it a website? Is it a mobile app? Okay, is it a multimedia subject? So that kind of thing. So final year project is actually more. So basically, you are here, okay? Maybe you're doing some logics on your project. You will need to adopt formal methods. Maybe you are embedding some AI into your work. And of course, it will involve the development of software system. At the end, whatever it is, you must have the prototype that you can show. Okay, you have something to show. You have a product. So your product is your software, meaning that you need to do some programming. Or let's say if you're doing some studies on comparisons of algorithms, still you need to have you need to do some programming to show that the algorithms works, right? So the expectations, so you are here. So this one is taken from your Computing Essential Guide, all right? So basically you are here. So we have functional system. This is not function AI system. This is functional system. Okay, meaning that you need to highlight that the apps that you have developed is functional. So types of computing project can be categorized into this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 category. And in one project, you may have more than one type. Maybe, of course, for the development, everyone is doing the development, but you, of course, you will need to embed into some research element into it. You need to evaluate your project. So let's see how it goes. For the research base, usually for this one, usually involve on, for example, on how to improve maybe the accuracy of some algorithms. Okay, involve a thorough, the word he used here is thorough investigation of a particular area, improving your understanding of that area, identify strengths and weaknesses in the field, and acknowledging areas suitable for further development and investigation. The next one, we have the development, not only software system, but also process models, methods, algorithms, theories, and also design. So on your part, definitely you will need to have that software system, the application, the product, the prototype. So the industry-based project that involves solving problem within an organization, maybe your supervisor already have research run, so they were doing some research on a particular topic, so they ask you to involve and carry out some tasks on the research project. Okay, so this is what we call the industry base. Okay, we do have students which were doing small part of the overall research. Okay. So here, evaluation involves some form of evaluation as their main focus. So maybe you are evaluating two programming language, or maybe you are evaluating two algorithms. Okay, you are evaluating within random forest and a knife base maybe. Okay, so you will do sort of evaluation. So basically, so far at least you will combine two or three. You will have the development and you are doing some comparison between two algorithms. So you are doing some evaluation. Problem solving, the development of a new technique to solve a problem, such as improving efficiency and must involve some evaluation. So somehow this you will have this part of your project. Okay, the criteria. Okay, the criteria, you will have them inside your project. Let's look into the FYP project, final year project. You as a students, okay? So actually my part here, my role is to coordinate, okay? To assess both of you as a student and also your examiner and your supervisor. So each of us will have their own roles. You as a student, you need to um, communicate with the supervisor, with the examiner, as well as the coordinator. So in this case, I am the coordinator. Okay. This is very important, this triangular relationship, okay, between the student, between the supervisor, and also examiner. The students, yes, I used to be in uh, your shoes before. Okay, I used to be a student. Um, the part that you need to update your supervisor is the most, I might say, uh, um, very not so good uh, experience. Why? Especially when you do not have some good progress, I might say. If you do not have a good progress, you are stuck. Okay, but there is actually the point where you need to go to your supervisor. Okay, you need to discuss with your supervisor. Let's say you do not know what to do. Okay, and after some time, nothing in progress. So if you wait further, then nothing will progress. Okay, as simple as that. So we have supervisor because they can give you supervision. Okay, supervision. So they are supposed to take the role to give you guidance and also encouragement throughout your FYP project. Okay, the examiner comes last. The examiner only come into the picture when starting from week 12, okay, when they started to read your reports and during the final presentation, that's it. But this most of the time actually you are with a coordinator and you are supposed to be your supervisor as well. All right. Okay, we are going to the end, I believe, of the content that I have here. Chapter 1 gives you the opportunity to grab readers' attention and bring them on board with interest. So maybe for now, we are saying that is my problem good enough? Is my title good enough? Is the title interesting? Is it doable? You have so many questions coming to you. Okay, so this chapter 1 is just like an executive summary of the whole project that you are doing. So you will put everything into your chapter 1. So here in this chapter 1, it will present the problem by addressing the research plus the summary of the most relevant research and theory pertaining to the subject of the study. Okay, so that's why I asked you to have the key reference, so that would be part of your reference inside your problem statement. Okay, inside your problem statement. And then what are the things that you need to have in this? You will have the so for the research question, it depends. Some of the supervisor, they do not want to have the research question, so do discuss with your supervisor. Okay, but objective is a must. Significance of the research and also the scope of the study is a must. And finally, you will need to do a summary of the chapter plus thesis organization. So basically, this is it for your chapter 1 outline. If you look at your thesis template, you will find the same content. So for this research questions, so it depends on your supervisor whether they want you to have it or not. So the first thing that you need to have is the background of studying, the problem statement, research questions. Okay, depends, research objective, research scope, research significant, and also summary, and finally the thesis outline. The thesis outline is just that chapter 1, what is the content of chapter 1? Chapter 2, what is the content of chapter 2? Chapter 3, what is the content of chapter 3? Okay. So basically, that's it on some materials that I have. So next week, we can look into how to write the problem statement and also the objective. Okay, I thought I have it here, but it's not yet. Okay, so anyway, any questions so far? Any questions? Okay, do I have I just checked the latest student list. Do I have Fakih Abdullahis Radin Sutekno here? Fakih Abdullahis, are you here? Fakih? Not here yet. So any questions so far? How is the progress? I believe when you have the thesis template, you can actually start it to fill in the blanks here of your chapter 1. Okay, you may start it to fill in the blanks of your chapter 1. Anything? Not do. Okay, let me see. Because his next content that I have is already on chapter 2. So why don't we go straight away to chapter 2 so that Actually, you need to read before you write your chapter 1, before you can come out with the research objective, okay, and also your problem statement. So since we're still early, so let's move on to the content of what you should have in your chapter 2. I missed the content on how to write the problem statement. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so let's see what should be included inside your chapter 2. Okay, so suppose chapter 2, the title is literature review, not review of the literature. Okay, it's supposed to be literature review, chapter 2. So in this chapter 2, it is actually a summation, a sum of pertinent literature directly related to your study. So usually you will begin with background for the important variables or concept in your study, the domain. Okay. And to describe the similarity and differences between your work and that of other authors and the researcher in the same field. The literature review is not just a list of passwords. It shows you understand the field and it justifies why your project matters. So here it can actually identify the gaps. The gaps here meaning the problem. Okay, the gaps means the problem in the existing research. And it will also set the foundation of the research work, the background of the study. So the literature review is not just a list of passwords. Again, it shows you understand the field and it justifies why your project matters. So read with a purpose. So inside the articles, what is the goal of the study? What is the method that they use? What is their findings and how it connects or doesn't to your work? Yes, I believe you can actually have a paragraph, okay, and then you can ask your um, uh, AI assistants to actually give a synthesis of what other research have done. Okay, they can actually outline. They can also list out the articles that were presenting the same thing. Okay, so I did show you how we can use, for example, consensus. Okay, a particular, you have something in mind. Okay, and you ask them to find literature that is discussing on the same topic. Okay, and they can list out the articles that they used to refer to. Okay. And you need to do a summary. Okay. It will highlight the key research work relevant to your topic. Focus on the most influential studies, recent and foundational. Okay, that's what I say. You need to find, for your problem statement, you need to find the articles from 5 years recent. So meaning that right now we are in 2025. So the article must be 2021, 22, 23, 24, 25 in 5 years time. Okay, but let's say that study is actually rely on the foundation or the original work of somebody from, say, 1970s, 1980s, in 2000, that can be cited as well, because current work is based on that foundation, on that original work. Okay, please take note. And you need to mention the technologies, the models, or theories central to your domain, and make sure to use, you need to have citations, okay, to anchor credibility, okay, of your literature. So from your reading, from your literature review, you can actually define major terms and concept used in your project. And here you need to explain how these concepts are used in previous work, and you need to provide context on how these have evolved over time. Okay, what are the key concepts and what are the variables involved in your project? You need to highlight the similarities and also the difference with existing works. So the similarities in terms of the methodology, the frameworks, the tools that they are using, and what are the difference. Okay, of course, their scope will be different, the objective will be different. They were using a different data set and you are using a different data sets. And what are the technologies that they are using? And you need to compare, of course, in terms of performance, which one is better. So you need to emphasize how your project fills a gap or offers a new perspective of the problem. So again, where to search? Of course, I just put a Google Scholar on top of the list still, and then going to the university library database. I believe you have tried out IEEE, ACM, Springerling, Science Direct, and then use the correct keywords. Okay, use the correct keywords to find the articles, and make sure to add these keywords that you use to search for the articles as part of your explanation in the requirement analysis of your chapter, of your chapter 3 later on in the methodology. Okay. So the search tips, okay, I have it here. Use specific keywords. Okay, if you are doing sentiment analysis, you are doing recommender system, natural language processing in what domain? So here we have one example of transfer learning in medical image classification. Okay, you go specific to the approach together with the domain. Okay, you may use the Boolean operator and or not to search. You can search for a review paper. Okay, so you can have a quick background understanding, okay, when you read a review paper or survey paper of your topic. Because usually this kind of review or survey paper, bibliometric, bibliographic analysis, these papers often summarize dozens of studies. Yeah, that's it. So how is it so far? Have you progressed from 2 articles to so many articles right now? How is it so far?
Okay.
Okay means the number increase.
Yeah.
Yes.
Still doing research.
Okay. So once you have your articles, okay, straight away to get the DOI and put it inside your Mendeley's. Okay. This weekend I'm preparing a manuscript for journals articles. So what I have found is that when I ask I'm using Copilot. Okay, I ask Copilot to find similar. I ask them to find related article to my paragraph. Okay, so they can outline. A couple of articles came out. I cannot access the real article, even though they give the DOI, but the DOI is not correct. They cannot get into the the original article. So when you have the DOI, one way of checking whether the article is legit or not, you get the DOI and put it inside your Mendeley. Okay, let Mendeley search. So meaning that when Mendeley respond, they cannot find the metadata, meaning that the article is not there. Okay, you can ask them to refine. I cannot access the DOI number. Can you find the correct DOI? Okay, you can ask them to do that. So yesterday I have a few times having difficulties on find the correct articles with the given DOI number. Okay, so please do that. This is one of the way of how you can check whether the article is legit or not. Please do that. Okay. So any other questions, class? So how is the progress so far? Yes.
Saya ada soalan.
Mm-hmm.
Untuk yang chapter 1 tu kan dah boleh buat macam apa introduction tu kan.
Yeah.
Saya punya supervisor dia ada bagi contoh juga untuk macam buat apa introduction apa semua tu kan. Doktor punya pun ada juga kan. Saya nak kena ikut yang mana satu lah. Sebab doktor yang supervisor saya kata kena tanya doktor.
Okay, the content is almost similar, right? Okay. For chapter 1, I believe the subsection is the same. Okay, you will have the introduction, or whether if you are not using the word introduction, you will have the word background, problem statement, objective, scope, significance of study. So the subsection is almost the same. So I'm on my side, I believe it is better for you to use the one listed inside your thesis template. Okay, especially for chapter 1. So I believe everyone should have the same for chapter 1. For chapter 2, everyone will have their own subsection depending on the topic they have at hand. Okay, so is that clear? Any other question?
So guna yang doktor share kan? Okay, thank you doktor.
All right. The template, please make sure to use my template. Okay, no other template is acceptable. Please use my template. Any other question? No. Tak ada. If no other question, then I shall end our discussion here. But as always, if you have any questions, just paste it to the group. So take this time to go through, to fill in the blanks in your reports, okay? And if you do have time, you may stop by at the library to go to the thesis department, and you may go through what others have done previously. All right. So I'll end the class here. If you have any questions, just paste it to the group or GM. With that, thank you very much. Assalamualaikum, and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.